Ladies and gentlemen, 5:30 p.m. I am in Missouri. The ambience you are hearing is the ambience of the beautiful Lake Victoria. Someone had even challenged me about it. By the way, I've realized the water levels have I've gone to Ngode and the other side of Rusinga. I've never been this side, but if you're here, you can see Rusinga. That other end is Rusinga. I'll just show you. That other end is the other side of Rusinga. So those are islands. Those are islands within. You can see the Ngode. There is Kamasengre. Now that is the other side where who is this guy? Tom Mboya was buried. The home is on the other side. So on this other side, this is Uyoma. For people who don't know this place, when you're in Missouri, on my right other side, this is Uyoma. So hii ni maji, na ile ni place watu wanaishi. So that is an island also. So the other side, you'll also see the extension of this lake. And this facility is a very beautiful facility. And I've realized for the governors in Siaya, this lake is a tourist attraction site that someone should think about. It's a good tourist attraction site that someone should think about. I don't know how I should explain that more. Because imagine if you can have beaches around this place. Beautiful, well-built beaches. The country can invest and can find incentives. And even the national government can do some good incentives so that people will come. Ukikuja Siaya na unasikia usikii vizuri, unataka upumzike, you get the ambience of the lake, you can come this side and just relax, and get the ambience instead of flying. People are really going to Mombasa, but what's the difference? Apart from Mombasa kuwa na hiyo, it's the same. So you can take good use of this. Question that I have been asked by our young people, the boda people operating this side, the fishermen here, everyone is asking me that, Kevin, you guys are in political analysis space. What do you see 2024 will have for us? And I'm doing this because William Ruto, in December, from December 12th during the Jamhuri Day celebrations, all through to the New Year speech, the president gave a speech and is saying things are going to be good. That we are out of the debt distress. I was borrowing so that I can bail out the country from the murky debt distress. And he's telling the country things are going to be good. But the public have something called trust deficit. You cannot blame them. The public do not trust what the politician is saying. I wish economists, I wish people in the civil service, I wish professionals are the ones that could be doing an assessment of the economy and telling the country that, look here, we are in a good shape. So the biggest worry that people are asking, things are tough. How are we going to be? And because I am around this lake, I want to give you an example. You see, like these boats here, the boats you're seeing, zitatoka. These guys will go to the lake usiku, kwenda kutafuta samaki na omena. When they come back here, there is another place where they will go. So wale wa mama wenye nanua hizo omena, they will come. They will be milling around these boats here to buy the omenas and the fish from them. Now after it's bought here, it has to be transported somewhere. Maybe it's going to be transported to Nairobi, or they will just send it to they will just be transporting it to the nearest markets to be sold. I am told these fellows here have to hike the prices. Why? Some of these boats are using diesel. Get it? Some of these boats are using diesel. Some are using petrol when they moved. So wakiwa kwa maji, they're using fuel. Someone will ask me, is that not a pollutant? That's another debate. But because they've also spent in a biddy, they have to increase the price of the product. And can I shock you? The price of fish here could be more expensive than in other places. I still don't know why. Maybe I'll find out the answer by the time I finish. So, that is how things have been tough. It's a real example of how things have been tough. Now, I want to be honest, and I want to be a truthful man. To the viewers of The Bold, I have done political analysis, and I think better part of 2023, I have been doing governance. I have been asking questions. I have been doing opinions on what needs to be done. I have been running information bearing on what politicians are saying, and I've seen the conduct of politicians. If these 4 things are not done, it will actually come from worst to worst. Things will worsen. 4 things. Number 1, the president must stop piloting and execute using already existing structures, policies, and the template. I know for sure in 2023 we piloted a new funding model for education in university. We piloted a new health scheme for the health. We initiated a new housing scheme on using the housing levy. And in this month, there have been so many radical changes. Because when President Ruto came in, he didn't want to pick up from Uhuru Kenyatta and wanted to be the Mr. Right to show the country that we've been doing it wrong. So in 2024, and we've seen the effects. We've seen the effects. Even now, the cost of moving to Mombasa has hiked by 500, so it's going to 1,500. We've seen the effects of the changes. And so because of that, the ripple effect, the net effect in the economy has not been very responsive to the people's needs. The policies that we have introduced, that we have been piloting, have not been responsive to Mwananchi. That's the truth. Now, in 2024, Mr. President, stop piloting. Don't bring anything new. Use whatever you have. Use whatever you have implemented, whatever you've been using. And if you can't pick, don't introduce something new. This is what is there. At least know, is it working? Is it failing? During the recent presidential roundtable, there is a journalist who asked the president, Mr. President, why are you doing all these policies once? Why can't you just do bit by bit? Because they're already choking the public. And he did not have an answer for that. So if we stop piloting, we can have a difference. Number 2, Mr. President, we must be pan-Kenyan, not even pan-African. We must think Kenya first. 2023, political analysts and media have complained about so many foreign trips that have been riddled with ridiculous loan facilities. And those loan facilities are just traps. So, this time round, spend more time in this country, Kenya. Know what is going on. Know what is to be done. Retreat back to State House. Don't be a guest in State House. Go back to State House. Think more about Kenya, because most of those things that have happened because you've been out of touch with the country. So if you are within the country, you'll be in touch with the public. Number 3, Mr. President, you must audit the dream team. If you are not the problem, they are the problem. Since the government was formed and the cabinet was formed, we came up with a breed of cartels and brokers at different levels. It just depends on you are brokering from State House, from cabinet, or from your county, or from anywhere. I can tell you. Break down, audit that dream team. And if there is a cabinet secretary that cannot account for the minute is doing, whether that person is your brother, is your political friend, or is your what, or is your crony, or is your girlfriend, or is your boyfriend, it's everything, that person needs to be shown the door. Lastly, crack the whip on corruption. I have been saying in 2023, the problem is not how much money we are collected, how much we are getting, whether we are getting loans or not. The problem is an expenditure. I can tell you I've been in the Sia County, and I've managed to go to Kisii. I've also managed to go to, I've managed Vihiga, Kisii, and Siaya. Devolution have worked. And the counties have turned to be employment bureaus. A latest report before Christmas was showing that counties spent more money on domestic travel and recurrent expenditure, on paying salaries, while they took little for development. To our governors, devolution, the counties were not established just exclusively to be employment bureaus. They're supposed to be extension officers, extension headquarters of the national government, but not just employment. We must crack the whip on corruption and ensure we stop employing more but implementing more on projects. Thank you guys. That is my last video. The lakeside in the beautiful Lake Victoria. May God bless you. As I finish, I am introducing the project that we'll do in February. That's normally my custom. I do it early. In February, I want us to take, I've been getting a lot of requests for children in need, orphans in need. Now Mimi, under Bold Charity Network, will start with to sponsor 5 children in secondary school, and we're looking at full scholarship to walipie fees, and we're looking at manageable. Kama anaweza pata meets, and even if it is 30,000 or 20, we pay. We will try to liaise with the CDF so that they can benefit. As MP ikitoa yao, government ikitoa yao, we take this child to walipie fees, 5 of them from vulnerable families, and you, in your capacity, under Bold Charity, we can do 5. And I'll do a fundraiser. The fundraiser that we'll do in the first week of February will be paying fees for those 5 children that we shall have pointed out, all of them, in the target, to Apeleke, Shule, all of us, literally, we will take them one by one, take them to school, and pay the fees, especially from the needy family backgrounds. I know I've had many of those requests. I'm reaching out to you. In your capacity, through Bold Network, you can also sponsor. Because I want, by the end of the year, I want the number to be huge. In 2024, I will be big. Bold Charity Network will be big on education. Will be big on education so that we uplift the society. Hata ukipata opportunity ya mtoto kufanya kazi majuu na uko majuu, get to me. Let me announce it here. Let's get someone so that we change our society. We don't want to complain. And I want to say thank you, because just through this program that I was initiating, the education initiative, we'll get a name for it, our education initiative, we've got one child who is in Maseno University. If you guys remember Marvel, we fundraised for her in November, ili ende afanye mtihani. She has gotten a full scholarship from one of us under Bold Charity Network, and I'm also challenging you. How it works is very simple. If you are willing to pay school fees for even a child, hata kama university or college, hata kama ako nini, you will pay the money. Our work as Bold Charity Network, we are a team of facilitators, are guarantors and trustees on ground. You can ensure hiyo pesa imelipwa kwa shule, we have the receipt, we document, then we ensure that child is in school. At the end of every term, we collect the termly reports. We'll be dispatching a team, or we'll organize on how we can collect the termly reports from those kids that will be under full Bold Charity Network. I am glad. I have a dream. By the first year, it is possible. We can have at least 50 under Bold Charity Network. And I know we'll transform this society. I want to be a champion of education. We have done this, and I think we can do it. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, after 5 days stay this side, Shosh House is up and standing. A lot of work. I want to say many thanks. I'm supposed to have gone back to Nairobi now, but I said I had to make sure that this project reached to this point. I know the work is not yet complete, but we have done phase 1 successfully, and I wanted us to wrap it up here before we look at what is pending. What we've agreed is that Shosh hata ingia sahi bado hata nyumba itakaa. We need to wait ikauke, hiyo mchanga ikauke. Then kuna ingine inaitwa ruadho, I don't know how that is said in English. So that will be done. Then we shall look at the other bit of the plastering and the 2 doors. That will take us some time, and I will reach out to many of us. Still, Gladys, thank you, who was the real face behind it, a very person that brought this to us, and a few of our friends that are still going to stick to this. Pole pole, within the next, between January and February, we'll be able to finish that. Tukirudi hapa March first week, Shosh tutarudi hapa akiingia, tuombe na yeye akiingia hapa ndani, and this I will take myself. Shosh erokamano. Wan koro wadwa inyalo wachani ang'o?
Ok erokamano.
Erokamano. Wacha nini Gladys? Kichodwa nini?
No. Ago erokamano ahinya kuom tich matek kendo amor. Koro Nyasaye omedi kama mago ae. Chak imed kendo. Erokamano.
Yeah, so what he's saying is saying thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gladys I mentioned is one of us. She introduced this project to me and told me, Kevin, as we adopt families, let's adopt Shosh for this. And I took it up as it's going to be my first January project. I have to confess, it was one of the most challenging, but then my God has never failed. I nearly lost hope at some point, but God has always been there. And I want to say thank you. I'm so glad to Bold Charity Network. From this, I believe we've started the year in a good note. May God reward you. May God bless you. May God be with you. You stood in the gap for an 83-year-old granny. May God stand in the gap for you. And I believe that as we start the year, may God stand with us. Those of us who are going to be part of this continuing, when you're Lisema, they're still going to promise me, those ones that are still going to bring cement and other things, this project will run for 2 months. It will still run. By the time it's already after the first week of March, we will get the house will be in full, fresh, so that haingie. But for now, thank you for first one. Asanteni, erokamano. Aya.